I was told that you actually served then in the U.S. military, which is in contrast to your father, who was sort of against the U.S. military. So could you tell me about your background about that? I think that's a very interesting dynamic. Why? How did that come about?
I come about when my father was the commander in 1943. Mm-hmm. He was a police, colonial Italy. He served the Marco Benedetti, 1943 to 1956. He was the police, colonial police, Italian, Vatican, Roman Empire, who came Somali in 1850. So my father was a very young age. He joined the police. So I grew up in military camps. Then he went to 1956 Modena, Italy, Sareno. Mm-hmm. Then 1961, after independence, he was a captain during independence. Then the night of independence, he was a captain in charge of the Somali flag. Midnight 1960, joined the protectorate in the south was Italian. Mm-hmm. The protectorate in the north, Somaliland, is British. They united 26th of June 1960s. The Somali North became independent. July 1st, 1960, they joined together. He was a captain, and he formed the Somali National Army, and he formed the first academy in 1961 for the officers in here in Mogadishu, Halame School. Then 1962 to 1967, he went to the Staff College in France, Russia. So I grew up with that, and then I was with him I was 14 years old during the 1974 war with Ethiopia. Then after we came back, he sent me to school, to America. So last year of high school, I went to the Italian Vatican. Like my father, I went to the Italian system. All my schooling from elementary I went to Guglielmo Marconi, is the first human being that created communication, was Italian Guglielmo Marconi. The Hello system, intercontinental. Then I went to that junior high. I went to Monson, Philippines, and then I went to the high school geometry engineering technical school in Mogadishu. Last year I went to California, Covina High, class of 1981. I graduated. I went to America 1980. Then I went to California to finish high school last year. And when I finished high school, I joined the delayed entry, the U.S. Marine, which is the highest trained Pacific Force and in California, first Marine Expeditionary Force. In San Diego, I went to the course. I became a Marine. I was approved after high school. I went to college. Then I joined later. I became a Marine. Class of 1957, U.S. Marine.
What was your motivation? Like you told me about your background here, but you go to the United States for a while and you become a Marine. What excited you about the Marines or the program?
Because of my background as a top officer, police, and the Army of Somali Foundation of this country, the fascism, the nationalism, that's what will put me. And we were very close with my father, and I grew up in military camps here. So I asked my father to join to the best train. I was a well swimmer, Vatican, well educated by the Italian, the Vatican school, highly historic culture about the whole world, military. I read all the Russian books. He sent me bicycles from Russia when he was Staff College in France, when he was in Modena. So I grew up, all the maps, all the training, staying in the officer corps who created the Somali independence. So Marine is the highest, is the British Royal Marine, first American president was George Washington.
Yeah.
So we in charge. The Marine is from Britain, in charge of the Navy, Army. We guard them, the embassies, and the executive order. The admiral of the ship doesn't control. We control. The president talks to us. Then we guard the general of the army in the base. Doesn't control. The Marine is charged looking. So we are highly trained, the most hardest trained, and the most loyal, and the least paid. We are nationalists. The army, we are under the Navy. Even the U.S. Congress every time says, let's dissolve the Marines. So we are related to the British Marines. Europe, we are related to European, and we are highly trained. We understand the history of problem of U.S. security history, World War I, World War II. We understand the CIA. We understand what is the problem, international security, Al-Qaeda, all that. Vietnam War, America lost. So we know all the campaign, Korea War. So we have all the files. We have the highest security. So we understand about Russia history, World War I, World War II. We understand the relation of U.S. with Russia. The Civil War in America, Russia supported 26 states in the South when the America split. So the Marines were in the middle of that, so resolving this historical relation with Russia, with Germany, with Italy, with the Orthodox Church, the Vatican, the Judaism, the problem of Hitler, and the problem now, modern time, Al-Qaeda, how it was created after Vietnam War. As Mrs. Clinton said, Al-Qaeda was created by the CIA. So the problem of security mainly come from the CIA, who become rival. So they split from the US. They did the September 11. They are missing. So now we, the Marines, are well trained we call them spooks, to check the problem of security in the world, since we are superpower. And that's why we are well trained. I understand very well about the Russia, because I'm Pacific Marine, so I'm in charge for China and Russia. So I know their history. California is specialized on that. So I'm the first Marine Expeditionary Force in California. So on the 4th Marine, I went to Sweden, Norway, Finland. Hitler captured 2 years. I have 2 medals from Cold War training. So Battle Griffin, we called the Russian generals and asked them not to take over in Russia, doesn't take over these 3 countries, which Hitler took 2 days. They don't have military. We, the Marines, fly from California, go to Battle Griffin, call the Russian generals, make it Atlantic Treaty. We have a good relation with Russia, because Russia is related to America independence, because Alaska belonged to Russia. So all that history I know very well. And the Vatican from Italy, and the fascism, and to US. That's why they selected me, because Somalia was a Warsaw Pact. So when I finished the 2 months recruiting in the FBI CIA camp, so my file, they gave it to me, they approved for me. They come and said, look, Somalia, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, that's 1980s. They are Warsaw Pact. But for you, you came young, you finished high school, we give you clearance. And they give me the passport. They give me to become engineer, pay all my schooling. I got every job in engineering. I worked 17 years as a civil engineer for the city of Los Angeles, city of West Covina. Wow. So I got priority. My children get educated because I'm a veteran. I am a veteran for Desert Storm, Desert Shield, 257 days. We liberated Kuwait when the king ran away. We removed Iraq. So I was in that operation. Also, Battle Griffin, Northern Atlantic. And I served Somalia. The President Bush signed executive order. I was retired at that time. He said, your father is the top. And we have a colonel and above in the Camp Pendleton. We are coming to Somalia 8th of December. President executive order, he signed. President said, I need Hussein Aidid, father, son is a Marine. So we go into Somalia for humanitarian. Mm-hmm. So the first Marine California came. And everybody from colonel above, they watch satellite. All my father, since he was officer, all the operations they do, they have a satellite. They follow him because he was a top-notch educated in Russia, educated in Italy. and he was in charge of the security of Somalia. So when they are going in a country, so they knew that he was the top leader with in charge of security. So all the colonels, all the generals say, your father is a top, how he removed Siad Barre, how he did operation when he was young to protect the country, how he built the army. So spy satellites, they follow him when he was young. So they said, and that's why Bush Senior, who was a CIA, who was a pilot World War II, said, we are very important. We need Aidid. His father is very important to us. And I'm the Republican Party, in America, Democratic and Republican. I'm the Republican. So that's why I was in charge of the California 106 colleges, the chairman, the students of 100 universities, colleges, to speak to the governor of Michael Dukakis, who's Armenian, to bring the scholarships for the minorities, Spanish, Arabs, American, Russian, American, Korean. And California is a mixed state. So I was the president for that, leadership training, the university, because I was active, and the party, I'm very active up till now. So that's why the Republicans said Bush time was expiring. So the Republican and Democrats have different policy in the Africa. As you know, Carter created from Sudan to Tanzania the strategy, the 10th parallel from North-South Sudan down is Christian Africa. The North is Somali on the 10th parallel meridian. So the main fleet sitting in Bahrain, the main fleet sitting in Qatar, the main fleet sitting in Egypt, in Eritrea, the Red Sea security, the Carter created in 1979. So I'm the Marines, we follow on that, the security of Indian Ocean, and Africa is Christian majority. So American take care of the Christianity. Same like Russia does Christianity, same does European Union is Christian, Vatican. So that's why when I joined, come back 1995, I came back 1992. I stayed 90 days with Bush only because Democratic Party said Hussein is a Democrat, is a Republican. We have to leave. So all Marines left. The army took over, and Clinton, who was against Vietnam War, who studied in England and who refused to join the military draft, like me, volunteer. Because Carter made volunteer, Kennedy time went to Vietnam, so Clinton didn't like the military. So he came to and said American military will be under Boutros Ghali, Egypt, Minister of Africa, who was against my father and Somalia. Egypt, we have a quarrel with the Water Nile, with Ethiopia, with us, 8 African countries from Uganda, Sudan, South Sudan, North Sudan, Eritrea, and Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, the Lake Victoria, White Nile, and the Blue Nile. There is a water problem, historical war with Egypt since the pharaohs. And Somalia is the original pharaohs. Then the Sudanese pharaohs, we are Cushitic, Queen of Sheba. We have we come from kingdom. Somalia is very old. So that's why
you talked about some really important things that a lot of people might not understand. So first off, so you're saying basically during Carter's time, he set the 10th parallel, and all of Christian Africa was going to get a different foreign policy from America than all of Muslim Africa. That's like was official policy.
Yes. So all former Russia, Khrushchev and Somalia signed agreement in 1961 with Khrushchev.
Yeah.
Because Kennedy refused to give weapons because Ethiopia is Christian, Somalia is Muslim. So the Kennedy said, I will give you only rifles. For us, our loyalty is to build the kingdom of Ethiopia, which is the Tigrayans, the Orthodox, and the kingdom of Christianity originally come from Ethiopia. So they said they will not support and give artillery, Scud missiles, professional training. So Russia said everything will give you. So our first president, which is CIA assassinated, signed Khrushchev agreement, and that is the problem we have up to date, the security problem we have, because we are threat to the Christian South Sudan, North Sudan, split. South up to South Africa, Somalia is a threat because Somalia helped South Africa to liberate the apartheid. Somalia helped Uganda, 77 African countries and Palestine against Israel. Somalia gave Somali passport and train Like we did, Libya did the same thing. Same thing Jamal Abdel Nasser did. So we Warsaw Pact group, Jamal Abdel Nasser, I believe second president was after Jamal Abdel Nasser was they had a quarrel with Israel. State of Israel was created in 1957. So Syria, Iraq, Somalia, they helped Egypt quarrel and Palestine to liberate. So and plus Somali and Eritrea during Ipshut Kingdom 1400, we captured twice Israel to make sure the King David and Suleiman, the Dalut, these three kingdoms, the quarrel between Palestinian is very historical, very old, before Christ. So Somalia was involved. We were with Egypt and Eritrea. We invaded Jerusalem to make sure the Masjid al-Aqsa and the Christian Nazareth with the Imran family, which is Christ's grandmother, and the Pharaoh wife was of Egypt was Asiya. Is the same related to Christianity of Christ's grandmother, the wife of the Pharaoh of Egypt. The Roman Empire governor of Nazareth and in Jerusalem, and the Pharaoh wife and the elders of Israel, they crucified Christ. So that's why the evangelists and the Marines regard Christianity. That's why America, the what do you call, the Irish come from Europe, so they are evangelists. So for them, they're taking care of Christianity. That's why Carter was a priest and a president. So he created this, starting from that. That's why Egypt left from Arabs after Sadat was assassinated. Egypt signed agreement with the Monero, and the state of Israel was created. And up to now, 6 countries except Somalia, barred Somalia in 1961 to when it was collapsing, we never allow recognized Israel. So because of the religious, because we have 6,000 before Christ, from Beledweyne to Haradere, Galmudug, the central region, we have 6,000 years Israeli cities buried, very ancient. Somali is the original pharaohs. So we have Somali when Judaism was there. We worked with Moses and the previous Abraham, and this is the land of Abraham. This Somalia is where when God has thrown from heaven and the earth was together before Noah, the Adam landed Somalia, the mother. India and Somalia were Pangaea together. So during Noah time, God created the seas split. So Somalia, that's why you have all the kingdoms, all the Orthodox Christians, their gold is buried, treasures in the sea and Somalia, on the ground, in the city of Mogadishu, because we are come from Harar. Harar means deep into Ethiopia. So we are Cushitic. When Christianity was, we were Christians. When Judaism was, we were Judaism. And we have all the proofs. We have the original 2 prophets. Moses is buried in Somalia North. The proof of that is the donkey of Moses' time. The legs have like the tiger. Only found those donkeys in whole Africa is found in Egypt and in the North Somalia. And that's why Somalia also, before the Mecca and Medina, we go and face the prayer. We used to face the Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. That's why Christianity, Judaism, the wall, and we protected. And also Somalia participated with Eritrea, the Berbera, the base Russia used, the big Berbera. Berber means the kingdom of Somalia all the way to Senegal was one kingdom, all brother and sisters, Egypt, Eritrea, Djibouti, all small kingdoms, but Somalia is the mother and the oldest. And to prove that, you come, you dig the cities in Mogadishu up to Beledweyne, this Hawiya land. You see everybody is buried with their leather, with Moses, and we have Christianity also, because Sharon made the test. One of the graves in Somalia, they dig because everybody is buried his belongings plus the Torah, which is the Jewish Bible, is buried with them, and we have cities. So that's why when Somalia was Christianity, with Christ, we have the original Christian kingdom. Their goal, all their Orthodox Church, Somalia is buried. That's why the Vatican, the biggest cathedral in Africa, Italians came later in 1850. They built in Mogadishu. So Somalia is Muslim, but we have a lot of history. That's why Russia came here, because Somalia is a Cushitic, the kingdom of the pharaohs, the Queen of Sheba, the Christian queen, and the Abraha. They built the biggest church in Yemen. They want to go capture Mecca and Medina. Then God sent the birds to kill them. The Abraha, we were part of it. So Habasha, we call Arla Habasha. Somalia is the main, and we have all the documents. All the cities are Somalia buried.
Well, interesting. Now, let's talk about one thing a little more modern that you mentioned. I found interesting.
Yes.
You sort of said that kind of the CIA creates a lot of problems that the Marines have to solve. And I'm kind of curious, why do you think, why does the CIA do what it does? Because it's very confusing what their
motivation is. Yes, it's very simple. American Constitution was made in Tantevern, Philadelphia. In 1775. They became independent. So that constitution is before the constitution, CIA was created, state of Texas. As you know, Saudi Arabia was united in 1744, 35 years before America was George Washington first president. So the king of Saudi Arabia, why? Because oil and gas, Texas. That's why you have to understand why Bush came modern time. Why Carter creating this is oil and gas. After Russia, Somalia has the second oldest, biggest well on earth. When the Panjshir split, India split, the geopolitics, and the Red Sea split from Yemen, Somalia has 0 degree. Ethiopia is 6,000 above sea level, Saudi. So Amraco, the biggest well is here in Mogadishu, 30 kilometers. America came with these companies before in colonial. They have did the research. Conoco, Exxon, all these companies are related to before independence. The America is a refinerists. They take black oil from Africa, Nigeria, everybody. They clean in Texas. They create farming material. So on that farming, they sell to China. They sell to in the world. Like you sell the food in Ukraine, Crimea. The food that we eat for refugees in Africa come from you, Russia. So same thing. America use refineries. Their main economy is oil. America own industry and refinery. And state of Texas created under the Senate Armed Services Committee, which control the military. American president have no power. Is arms two? There is two committees. Armed Services Committee, all the military come from them. And then there is Foreign Relations Committee of the Senate. The Armed Services Committee control the military, was created and built slowly from 11 states to 50 states, including Alaska, which they buy cash gold from you, which you allow the Russia. So nevertheless, what I'm trying to tell you is the oil and gas is the issue. And America, CIA created the king of Saudi. They are Turkish and their mother is Jewish. So 18 million Saudis were denied. It was Prophet Mohammed's family. Is King Hussein from Jordan ran away after Turkish Empire went down. Turkish Empire was under Ethiopia, Somalia, and all this River Nile area. This kingdom from Queen of Sheba, Turkish Empire inherited with the German fascism, because they came to Tanzania, Congo. These are kingdoms in Africa. Africa is full of kingdoms. So the German came in the East Africa, Somalia, the two Jubaland from Kenya border belong to Tanzania under Germany. So Germany was close to Vatican, Italy, fascism. They give it to Somalia, these two areas. So Somalia has the largest oil and gas deposit, and now the new research, the green energy, 25 oils. Kenya has only one. All Europe need one. So that's why Aramco is the biggest oil in Saudi Arabia in 1744, which were incorporated, and the 14 Saudi tribes were divided, and the Saud family became the leader, and Wahhabism was created by the CIA to control with the British, and they, because their mother is Jewish, that's why you say Kushner, Trump, Jerusalem, all that is related to oil and gas. And the oil and gas, Israel, same thing, gives to Europe gas, but that gas belongs to Egypt. Egypt can say nothing. They use deep sea, the Norway and Brazil, they do deep sea oil and gas. That's why we have involvement of Norway in the Somali politics, because Somalia has, like other countries, 200 nautical miles as an economic zone. Norway has financed our parliament to create 150 more, because Brazil and Norway want to dig deep sea and take the oil and gas from Somalia and use it, and the green energy. And that's the quarrel now. CIA is in the middle of that. That's why Africa is not stable. That's why 15 African leaders, including my father, was assassinated. First President Abdurrashid Shamarko was assassinated when he signed Khrushchev agreement, CIA, because they want oil and gas. And Mohamed Siad Barre came 87 with my father. Texas, they said, we're not going to make oil and gas. We'll not give you the concessions. Why? They knew it's a problem. Somalia is a rich oil and gas, like Russia. Why Russia? Ukraine is being attacked. Why Russia, after liberating up to Germany, why they now restarting with the fourth theory, Putin is struggling to liberate? Because is oil and gas is the issue. You are number one, we are number two. Somalia is number two, including Ogaden territory. Somalia is split into 5. 1946, my brother was a British Royal Marine of the Zone 5. The Queen split, Queen Elizabeth split, give it to there to block the Wahhabism, because the Mad Mullah in Sudan and Somalia was the Sayyid Abdul Hassan. He was graduated from Medina University, he was a Wahhabi. So that's why Iraq and us, we are not, we are Orthodox Islam. We are Orthodox Christian. We are Orthodox Jewish. Original, not Russian Jewish, not new-made Jewish. We Somalia have original Jewish with the leather, with all their kingdoms. King Suleiman, all his gold is in Somalia, underground. We refuse. Somalia don't allow anybody to touch grave. That's why Al-Qaeda, CIA is looking to take the saints who came from Christian, from Judaism. They want to remove their, because they want to use same way the Nazareth, the Christ mother grave was taken to Europe. Why? Because of the angels and the blessing they want. Somalia, we refused up to now. Nobody can touch the grave. I myself inherited my father. I said no Al-Qaeda, no Shabab was created to dig the grounds. To dig they're looking for the gold. We said nobody can. I know the gold where it is. It belongs to the Orthodox Church. It belongs to the Judaism. It's very old sacred. We kept them. The previous leaders, they build big buildings. Anything underground, all the Chinese gold in the sea, we tell them nobody can take, because 35 ships from China came to Somalia, Mombasa, and they had a problem, wind problem. So a lot of gold, Chinese gold, is sitting in the sea of Somalia. The France tried to take it. We refused them. We said no, nobody can touch the old things. Why? It's going to create quarrel, because Christianity will come to Somalia. We are Muslims today, but historical, everybody will say Somalia belongs to, including the Orthodox Church in Russia. That's why Russia spend a lot of army in Ethiopia, Somalia, because we are related. We are the old pharaohs.
Okay.
And the modern time is oil and gas, the problem. CIA, it controls outside America. That's why America, after September 11, the 2 buildings went down, 5,000 Jews didn't go. All the 7 Arabs and the 1 Egyptian, the airplane, to fly America is to fly a flight and to put in a building, to put in the Pentagon, to put in the White House. It's not easy. America is well controlled. CIA did, and CIA control outside. and they wanted to attack Arabs. That's why Iraq, Syria, in Spain, they sit together. Spain is where the Islamic Moors, Somalis, Sudanese, Senegalese, they captured Europe 900 in Indus, and south and the breach of the Islamic government of Iraq was defeated in a breach of France. So that is why the Europeans came and take us in 1850, and that Somalia is a big problem. Because Somalia, when it was Judaism, they were Jewish. This brother is my mother's side. We come from Ethiopia also. So Mr. What's his name? Abdul Rusia. Abdul Rusia family, they went with the Orthodox, church to burn a Roman Empire. They took from Berber, they left with Ethiopian, and with Germany, they burned the idols to make Rome religious, to become a Christian, praying to God, one God. That's why Abdul Nur family, you take the DNA from my mother's side, I took it. My father has no mixed. My mother is mixed with German, with Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and they are light-skinned. And their DNA tells you that the Somali, the Habergris, the family we come, we liberated, and we were the one who put the ruling of Christianity in action. And remove all the idols, remove all people who don't believe in God. Atheism, we fought very hard. Yeah. And that's why German females were given to us, and that's why we are mixed. We have 5% Ethiopian, Eritrean, German, Indian, because we were involved in the expeditions outside of Somalia.
That's interesting. I never heard of that. That's interesting. I know you have limited time, as do I today, so I have one final question. What do you think the cooperation between Somalia and Russia is going to look like in the next few years? What is the plan? Is there going to be some sort of interaction? You seem to think that Russia and Somalia share this oil and gas role. That's something that can unite both countries. A little bit of interaction within the Cold War, orthodoxy. What do you think the future looks like of cooperation?
Somalia has 3 tribes: farming tribes, sea tribes, the largest in Africa, 3,300 kilometers. Mm-hmm. All Somalia they allowed Russia. They knew Russia fought with Hitler, fascism, fought with Mussolini, and Russia can unite because from Egypt, all the way, the Christianity here in Africa is Orthodox. So we related to Russia. We're not related to Italian Vatican. We're not related to the Queen of England, which invaded us. They are King James version of Christianity and evangelism. These 3. We are older, we are Orthodox. So for us, we are Nazareth. We are the one who helped Christ's mother to have the baby. We are related. So that's why Russia is closer in the religious sense. We are ancient. Oil and gas, we are together. The livestock, camel, Russia, Soviet Union has researched how to make the camel to have twins, have to have more milk. So Russia made research all Somali animals and how to make the camel grow more, because we are chameleon people. Me and majority of Somalians are nomadic. So camel, Russia will give us the research they made in Mongolia, camels, they can help us to increase the wealth of livestock, which is very precious for us. Finally, Russia did all the geology. The 2 rivers come from Ethiopia, Lake Awasa, Juba goes to the sea. It has titanium, 6%. Ghana has 2%. You see how stable Ghana is? So titanium is a light metal, better than aluminum. And Somalia had the largest deposit from the river up to the sea. And all the since Adam, it laid down the titanium. So all you need is to bring a ship and suck. So Russia did all the study, all the minerals of Somalia. So Somalia is rich of minerals. The missile, all the nuclear liquid we call red mercury. Somalia is full of it. Diamond, because of the plutonic. So those need the nuclear. Also the missile, they use a special, and the drones, they use a special flying, helping to fly. All that rocks are available in Somalia, those minerals. That's why Russia, we allow only to study. So Russia knows A to Z, all Somali minerals, all different regions, what it has. Another one is China came to us, said Galmudug region, we are ahead of Russia and America. We have a solar power. So Somalia has the sand, the battery to capture the solar. Somalia has the very rich on that mineral. That makes the battery to capture the solar. So for, and the green energy. So that's why Russia knows our sea, they know our army, they know our culture, and we are related ancient. We are very ancient. So you had a kingdom, we had a kingdom. Russia was a king before they. So that's why we can share and our security system and infrastructure and the security system which we build Africa, help South Africa, Uganda, Burundi, it all come from Russia. France,
Okay.
So liberation of Africa come from Somalia because we are the entrance of Africa. We are the Horn of Africa. 2,000 kilometers, 1,200 kilometers Red Sea, and 2,000 kilometers Indian Ocean. And we are east. We have nothing to do with the west. The earth is split in two. So we are east. We are related to Russia because we come from east. So we are religious. We are not entrepreneurs. West is entrepreneur. Nigeria, West Africa. But for us, we are very, very principle oriented, very old culture, very religious, very principle oriented, very related to the ground, very nationalist like Russia culture, very help other people who are being suffering, like Ukrainian, like Jewish people who have been killed. How Russia spent to capture up to Germany, East Germany. How many millions Russia lost to liberate with America and save America? Only 3 divisions. America, Britain, and France, and opposition of Italian, only 3 divisions. Russia liberated whole Europe. World War I, World War II, lost a lot of millions. That's why Napoleonic wars, Russia, we are related. That's why they are our brothers.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. That was great. Very informative. You know, a lot of the stuff, it's kind of the first time I ever heard it, so I'm actually a little surprised in a good way. Thank you very much, and I hope that we can provide some good cooperation with all of you in Somalia, and hopefully one day I'll get to visit you all. That would be amazing.
Yes, so, and finally, I want to tell you, executive order signed by Clinton when he lost Somalia and 25 European countries to recolonize Africa. My father stopped. So we, the Marines, came October 3. They said that Clinton made a mistake. Carter came in, said, talk to your father. We're going to remove. And executive order was signed 4 times. The assassination of Kennedy was first. Watergate, President Johnson, because Kennedy was a Catholic, they hide it. Only Biden now told the Marine like me, who went to Mexico embassy of Russia and Mexico embassy of Cuba, he took the visa before assassinating Kennedy. Biden just revealed this because, as you know, Kennedy family, they are Catholic. They are not Orthodox. So America would have had a civil war of Christianity, and they had one before. So they put the executive order and never want to talk about how it was assassinated by the CIA and that's the Marine. Number 2 was Watergate. President Nixon was forgiven by President Ford, and executive order. The file was closed for 35 years. The 3rd one was General Aidid, my father. America killed 6,000, and the 35 countries, they violated the sovereignty of Somalia. They came as a humanitarian, as a Marines. So we Marines, General Johnson, he's a European, the mission together, and me, we were immigrants. He was a Northern European from Norway, and we were liberated quite together. So for us, we came in as a humanitarian. But Clinton, who belonged to Democrat Carter, turned the mission into political. So my father stopped. So executive order was signed. they asked UN will not exist and America will not exist if my father take to court. So that's why 7 lawyers, including Russia, China came, UN said, right to it, please, we're going to remove everything. General Sini came in from Marine and give it back my father the whole land and said, we are sorry. So 35 years, no American force can come on the ground. That's why when I was president, I bring the African Union, Uganda, Burundi, and Russia helped to speak to President Boosty Jr. and Condoleezza Rice, which specialized, and they give me the African Union, America paid, and Europe. That's solving the problem of building Somali peace, because security is very important. And Russia can help us to rebuild the Somali security forces and defeat Al-Shabaab, which was created by CIA and oil gas.
All right. Well, God bless you. I hope you achieve that goal, because the more stability in the world, the better for everyone, especially for you guys in Somalia. Like you said, if the Horn of Africa stabilizes, it could spread to the rest of Africa. Anyways, thank you very much for your time. So anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you like the opinions coming out of my big fat mouth, then join up on my Telegram channel. That's Tim Kirby Hardcore on Telegram. Link, of course, in the description.